Tapi kita coba aja dulu. Oke, Manish, I'm going to start ya. Oke. Oke, selamat siang teman-teman. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ketemu lagi dengan saya, Kapri Anjaya, yang hari ini akan menemani Dr. Manish Semwal, yang dimana hari ini beliau akan berbicara tentang berbicara tentang challenges of modern education and responsibilities of schools and parents. Kali ini Dr. Manish akan menyampaikan dalam bahasa Inggris yang pelan-pelan katanya janjinya ya. Kayak gitu. Jadi teman-teman yang bahasa Inggrisnya pasif kayak saya, mungkin pelan-pelan pasti bisa lah ya ngikutin. Nanti Dr. Manish juga akan mencoba untuk pelan-pelan dan campur-campur gitu ya. Jadi ini hebatnya seseorang yang sudah tinggal di Jakarta dan bekerja di Jakarta sehingga bisa sudah pakai bahasa Indonesia. Oke, hari ini seharusnya hostnya adalah Ibu Dian Aryadita. Beliau berhalangan, jadi saya menggantikan pada kegiatan hari ini. Jadi yang teman-teman yang belum pernah datang di acara AISEI InspirACTION, selamat datang, dan saya yakin dalam waktu 1,5 jam ke depan teman-teman akan akan merasakan sesuatu hal yang mungkin bisa nantinya berbagi dengan yang lain. Dan saya sangat bangga kegiatan hari ini didukung oleh PT Epson. Di sini ada Pak Edwin dan Pak Roberto yang sudah berada di antara kita, yang dimana tentunya di akhir acara Pak Edwin dan Pak Roberto akan membagikan 1 buah Epson untuk door prize-nya. Jadi teman-teman silakan nanti harus menunggu sampai akhir supaya bisa mendapatkan door prize. Nanti mungkin Pak Edwin nanti bicaranya mungkin kira-kira 30 menit lah ya. Jadi nanti beberapa teman-teman, jadi nanti Pak Manish, in between your talking we are going to stop a bit so that Pak Edwin can join in and then tell us about his product ya. Oke, teman-teman, jadi nanti kita ada agendanya hari ini adalah main dari speaker kita, Dr. Manish, dan kemudian nanti ada sedikit product knowledge dari PT Epson yang sudah berbaik hati yang nanti akan membagikan juga door prize-nya, dan kemudian nanti kita akan lanjutkan dan juga ada tanya jawab. Nah, teman-teman yang baru join AISEI, AISEI adalah sebuah komunitas pendidik Indonesia, singkatan dari Association for International Minded School Educators in Indonesia. AISEI ini memiliki tagline, Nurturing Progressive and Transformational Educators for Future in Indonesia. Jadi teman-teman kali ini kita benar-benar ingin membuat para pendidik untuk bisa menjadi seseorang yang lebih baik. Ini adalah manajemen tim dari kami ber-12, semuanya voluntary based, jadi mereka semua ini dengan senang hati membantu kegiatan manajemen. Jadi teman-teman nanti kiranya ada yang tertarik mau jadi manajemen tim, silahkan menghubungi kami. Nah, anggota AISEI alhamdulillah sudah mencapai 1.000 anggota dari Sabang sampai Merauke, dari guru baik itu sekolah nasional, private, ataupun juga orang tua, pengamat pendidikan, konsultan, bahkan dosen. Ya, kita senang sekali karena memang idenya untuk para pendidik yang memiliki international minded. Nah, AISEI itu sendiri adalah komunitas yang berdiri sejak Januari 2019 dan kita memiliki misi memperbaiki sistem pendidikan di Indonesia mulai dari akar permasalahannya, memperkenalkan sistem pendidikan asing, meningkatkan profesionalisme, serta mengembangkan kompetensi pendidik. Jadi idenya itu membuat kita semua jadi terus mau belajar. Nah, jadi kita memiliki 4 pilar dan kita ingin memastikan semua anggotanya memenuhi pilar-pilar tersebut, yaitu menjadi pembelajar seumur hidup, selalu ingin berbagi, selalu menginspirasi dan menulis untuk meninggalkan warisannya. Pilar-pilar ini mudah-mudahan terus bisa kita laksanakan. Jadi teman-teman yang baru bergabung, yang hari ini masih mencoba belajar terus, nanti kapan-kapan mulai berbagi dengan kami dari member to member, kemudian mudah-mudahan bisa menginspirasi, dan jangan lupa menuliskan warisan ilmunya. Acara-acara AISEI juga terus berkolaborasi dengan berbagai partner. Ini kita berbagi partner dengan PSSDM dan kelas kreatif, yaitu tentang AISEI Learning, yang dimana kita dari tahun 2020 ikut mengaktifkan diri untuk belajar tentang digital tools, ataupun bagaimana belajar secara aktif masa pandemik ini. Kemudian juga kita juga sering berbagi, ada AISEI sharing, dan kemudian juga ada AISEI yang menginspirasi, yaitu inspire, kita menginspirasi, dan you have to take action. Jadi disingkat jadi InspirACTION. Nah, ini adalah sebulan sekali, dan mudah-mudahan teman-teman setelah terinspirasi bisa bertindak. Banyak sekali kegiatan-kegiatannya. Dulu kita pernah kegiatan offline yang dimana ada Mbak Ice Kodijah, kemudian ada Pak Fahmi Idris, macam-macam ya. Ada yang dari Pak Munif Katib. Nah, mudah-mudahan hari ini dengan Dr. Manish kita semuanya akan terinspirasi. Ini yang terakhir kemarin minggu lalu ada Carol, dan di sini sepertinya ada Carol tadi saya lihat ya. Oke, dan yang terakhir dari pilar kami adalah pendidik menulis, yang dimana teman-teman diminta untuk selalu bisa menulis melalui blog-blognya, dan mudah-mudahan bisa membuat tulisannya. Nah, ini kalau teman-teman belum menjadi member, silahkan register, tinggal klik www.aisei.id, kemudian register, dan jadi deh login tidak berbayar, sehingga teman-teman bisa menjadi member, karena keuntungannya teman-teman akan dapat terupdate dengan informasi-informasi kita. Kita juga punya sosial media dari Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, kemudian juga ada di Spotify. Bahkan ini buku pertama kita, mudah-mudahan buku keduanya menyusul tahun ini ya. Ini buku pertama kami yang kita selesaikan bersama-sama, yaitu kurikulum ngumpet. Nah, teman-teman, kali ini kita juga mengingatkan, ini teman-teman ya, ini kenapa kita terus mengundang teman-teman untuk menulis, supaya ini tadi, supaya teman-teman benar-benar ingin menulis ya, dan tergerak untuk menulis. Jadi teman-teman kalau udah hari ini mendengarkan Dr. Manish, silahkan menulis di dalam Facebooknya atau Instagramnya atau bahkan blognya. Jangan lupa pakai hashtag AISEI, InspirACTION, Modern Education, dan Manish Semwal. Nah, ini kemudian di hashtag tersebut dan diberitahu ke Mbak Eka, teman-teman akan mendapatkan hadiah menarik dari sponsor kami. Terima kasih teman-teman. Keep learning, keep sharing, keep inspiring, dan leave a legacy. Oke teman-teman, saya akan menjelaskan dulu tentang Dr. Manish, karena habis ini Dr. Manish akan berbicara kira-kira 30 menit ke depan, kemudian nanti kita stop diantaranya ya Dr. Manish, you need to tell me when to stop, dan after that Pak Edwin akan masuk pada pukul 13.30 ya. Oke, siapa Dr. Manish? Ini waktu saya kenal Dr. Manish itu seseorang yang sangat manis, sesuai namanya ya. Oke, sesuai namanya. Beliau telah memenangkan, ini nih yang saya tahu sebetulnya Dr. Manish ini adalah IB Coordinator di Gandhi Memorial International School. Dan ini ternyata Dr. Manish ini banyak memenangkan award ya. Dan ini mungkin harusnya cerita nih, soalnya saya baru dengar nih, apa itu Rada Kamal Mukhrizi Memorial Young Sociologist Award ya. Ini hebat sekali ya, dapat penghargaan dari Indian Social Science Association. Dan kemudian tidak hanya itu, dapat juga yang Geographers Commendation Award. Oke, dan ini juga dari National Association of Geographers India. Hebat sekali ya. Jadi ini kayaknya jago nih untuk sosiologinya dan juga geografinya ya. Dan beliau ternyata juga menulis banyak research paper tentunya ya. Biasanya kalau sudah jadi dokter tuh banyak nulis ya. Dan sekarang ini working IB International Baccalaureate Educators Network, dan working sebagai work leader, sebagai school visiting team member, dan reader for IBEN. Nice, ini very sophisticated job nih ya, jadi very important person, dan kita sekarang beruntung bisa mendapatkan dia untuk berbagi bersama kita. Dan tentunya beliau juga mengerti tentang ISO certification ya, dan MRIMR for ISO. Waduh, ini hebat sekali nih. Nanti mungkin kita harusnya minta Dr. Manish menjelaskan ya tentang gimana caranya dapat ISO certification. Ini kayaknya menjadi pengetahuan tambahan ya. Jadi kita catat ya. Dan oke, jadi teman-teman kalau ada yang ada keinginan mau dapat webinar apa, silahkan ya memberi isi feedback ke kami supaya kami bisa memberikan webinar sesuai dengan kebutuhan teman-teman. Baik, saya akan stop slide saya dan saya akan memberikan waktu ini dan minta Dr. Manish untuk memulainya. Silahkan.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Capri and AISEI, that you had given me this opportunity to talk with the educators in Indonesia. When first time I met with Dr. Capri, I knew that this lady have revolutions. She know how to do innovations and how to change the education in Indonesia. And I'm sure with her initiative of AISEI, things are changing in Indonesia. Yeah. I will be sharing, they had given me around say 1 hour or little more. So during this hour, we will be talking about challenges of modern educations and responsibilities of schools and parents. During this COVID period, it became very essential for all of us to, first of all, to understand what are the challenges that we are facing at present. And I'm not talking about the challenges that we have only during the period of COVID, but we will be talking about a whole challenges that we are facing in modern educations. And then what are the new responsibilities? What are the responsibilities that we as educators, as education institutions need to look for? And what are the responsibilities of our stakeholders also, because they are the part of this learning journey. So in between, as Dr. Capri says, I will stop in between. So somewhere around 9th slide, I will stop. And in between, if you have any questions, keep writing in the chat. Later on, when Dr. Capri will ask us, we will discuss those questions also. So when we talk about challenges in modern educations, before that, we need to understand when we are talking about challenges as whole, we are talking about quality educations. And when I say quality education, for me, quality educations is an excellent environment. These means the excellent educations and excellent environment. These two are hallmark of modern educations. We need to provide excellent educations, and to provide excellent educations, we need to provide an excellent environment. And when I say environment, I say a learning environment and a built environment. It is both. We are treating our current education's environment in connections that there are so many other opportunities and possibilities are there for future. So not only we are focusing on today, we are actually building the futures. We are creating the futures. We are the leaders in educations that are leading the foundation stone for the future educations through one such organizations of Dr. Capri. Now, if we talk about challenges in modern educations, we need to understand what are the issues, which front we are facing these challenges. And when I say the issues in modern educations, I can categorize into 4. You can categorize as many as you want. But there are four main issues which I feel that the first issue is organizational issues. No matter it's big or small, we all have certain organizational issues that we need to focus on to enhance quality of educations in our organizations. Underpinning technology, the technology that we need to adopt for modern educations to face the challenges of modern educations. We need to look into the pedagogical aspects. The modern pedagogical aspects, not only assessment, but there are many other things, including character building, including moral educations, including value educations. And then we need to look into stakeholders' issues, because if we see during this period, especially, stakeholder issues was always very important, but during this period, the stakeholder issues are more important. Government has given legal rights to the parents to send them to the school, to send their kids to the school or not. So these issues are also very understand for us to understand when we are talking about challenges in modern education. If I say about organizational issues, which is the foundation of an organization, we need to look into the school leadership, or I will say organizational leadership. How strong, how committed, and how dedicated the school leadership toward the vision and mission of the organizations. That's very important to look into. Not only how committed they are, but how it is conveyed to the stakeholders, how it is conveyed to the teachers, staff, karyawan, and then to the stakeholder of the organizations. As much as we understand our vision, missions, target, every stakeholder, every member of our community can contribute to enhance the quality of educations in the organizations. Literacy is important issues which we need to look into. Later on, I will discuss a little more about literacy as it comes on. Culture of equity is very important to develop that culture of equity within the organizations. Nowadays, we say there's a learning without boundaries. Many organizations have a different kind of setups. The offices without walls. There is no hierarchy in the office when you enter to an organization. That's very important to give equal values, equal equity, equal share for every staff of the organizations. Then building label relationship. In each label, we have to have a kind of relationship. We need to build a relationship. Teacher versus the students, teacher to students, teachers to coordinator or supervisor, teachers to the principal, principal to the management. So all these, in these all area, there should be a fine relationship in which we can promote or say we can motivate everyone to contribute for the issue that we are facing. Nowadays, actually the quality of a school determined from the entrance of the school, not only the person who is sitting in the highest hierarchy. The way the stakeholder is treated by the security is also very important. So it means the maintaining the quality of our for maintaining the quality of our organization, even the security, the karyawan, the all kind of staffs are very important. So that relationship building is very important. And the most important is our perceptions of teachers and students. We as a teachers, we always, there was a label always, this teacher is good, this teacher is not good, this teacher is learning, this is a new, this is old, this is experience, this is novice. But nowadays, the most important is having that perceptions, the perceptions of who can contribute the maximum, who is a positive thinker about the organizations. What kind of students I have? We go around the world and we find all kind of, the same kind of students are there in every organization, be it the best organization of the world or the normal organizations of the world, be it a best SPK international school in Indonesia or any government school or private school in Indonesia. All are good. Kids are everywhere. It's the same. Some kids are very intelligent, some might be not that intelligent. But what is our perceptions? How we built our teachers and students, that is very important to focus on when we are talking about organizational issues. The important organization is known not by the leaders. Organization is known by the teachers, the quality of teaching and learning, the opportunities given to the students, and the way we deliver, the way we convey our curriculum requirements to the parents, to the stakeholders. So pedagogical aspects are very important to enhance the quality of education. And when I say pedagogical aspects, language is very important. It is not important in which language we are teaching. It was a criteria earlier when you say, oh, this is the English medium school. No. Language is the language which is understood by everyone. Some best curriculum and the curriculum that I work for talk about respecting every culture and every language. In many curriculum, that second language is becoming more prominent than the first language. Understanding the culture, respecting the values through language, it's very important. So what is a common language when we are delivering our lessons? That's very important. A common language of the school. And I'm very firm about this when I say common language. I don't mean a common single language. It means a language, a behavior language of the school, of the organizations. Guidance on improving the qualities. Every step, we say collaboration planning. Collaboration planning, the quality collaboration planning enhance the quality of an organization. And for that, we need to have a proper guidance for improving the qualities. We can have many schools, and I'm very sure every school, every organization have that collaboration planning schedule. How do we collaborate among ourselves? Teacher versus teacher and teachers, then teachers to supervisor coordinators, teachers and principals, coordinators and principal to top management. So that cycle is also very important. That schedule is also very important. Teaching practices, innovation is required in teaching practices. Sometimes it happens that technology become a barrier when we are talking about teaching practices. But yes, we need to adopt those also, which we will discuss a little later. Then learning environment, consistency in improving the learning environment. Built environment and learning environment, totally different. We might have very good projectors, PowerPoint, and all those things in the classroom, but we might not have, we are unable to provide that best learning environment for the kids. We say learning by doing, learning through inquiry, conceptual based learning. So these areas need to be focused. Obviously, curriculum will provide us some limitations in this area, but then too, we need to give opportunities to the students where they can develop their inquiries, where they can connect a small topic with a big concept, because concept is interrelated, because concept is a holistic way of teaching. And then the assessment, the opportunities for assessment. Assessment, I say, assessment should be for learning, not of learning. When I say assessment for learning means we need to provide those opportunities to the students where they learn while we are assessing them. Not just the outcome. So you scored 90% marks or 99 or A star or 7 in various curriculum. But we are providing them opportunities through assessment to learn for future. And that's why in IB language, we call it formative assessments. So the role of formative assessment is very important. Not the scheduled periodical assessment, which is summative assessment. So we need to look into these aspects when we are talking about when we are talking about challenges in modern educations. And pedagogical aspects are very important to look into, because the quality of organization will be determined by these by these various issues. And then technology is coming in. We all know that today our sponsor is ESPN. This is technology coming into education. Various sponsors are there. If you see with the Ms. Capri, there are sponsors of AISEI, and these all sponsors means what? These sponsors are facilitating our educations. They are making us easy to deliver the best, not only the knowledge, but the practices, the skills that is required for future, that is required for students to perform in future for their higher educations or their career needs. So these technology need to be adopted. Again, there will be limitations. I know resource supply will be a biggest limitations for any organizations. But whatever these technologies are coming into educations, we need to adopt these technologies. The modern teaching techniques, in what possible way we can deliver the maximum. Earlier, we used to have only a worksheet. We used to give it to the students and they used to solve it and coming to the classrooms. But nowadays, various technology, various apps are there, free apps are there, say Basic, Padlet, Kahoot, all these things are there, Map Minders. We need to use these modern technology when we are delivering, especially for involving every kids in learning, because every kid is a unique kid. Their demand is unique. And we need to cater with the demand of the education of every child, not only few childs. Then various application systems are coming in to make our environment easy for the learners. And those applications, like we must be using in every school. I'm not talking about account-based applications. I'm talking about teaching-based applications, where we can have communications, where we can have proper plannings. I know few such applications, such as say in IB educations, mostly we are using Manage Back, say suppose, or Turnitin for checking plagiarism. So these various applications need to be utilized to some extent. Digitalizations of educations, like virtual labs. These things are also becoming prominent nowadays. If we can add, not to a very big extent, but in a small extent, if we can update this. I used to teach environment science and geography. So nowadays, if I think to teach environment science and geography, and if we go to the field, you can't go because government is not allowing you to go to outside, means earlier at least. But nowadays, those case study, if I make a video, say suppose pollution of coastal area in Jakarta, and then ask my student to design an assessment or to solve assessment on the video which I made, that will help the students. So digitalization is very important. Digital standards for educations and device. So if we have some device, we can use calculator, obviously we are using, but some other devices we can use in technology. And then enhancing through our curriculum, enhancing the technological skills, not only of students, but teachers also. So that opportunities need to be provided when we are talking about challenges in modern. And these are things. Now you see, the most knowledgeable teacher who have very good knowledge might be not that good in using technology. And that's why day by day, I will not say quality, but yes, I will say day by day, the involvement of those kind of teacher is decreasing. So the impact of those knowledgeable teacher, we need to keep by enhancing their technological skills. So that opportunities need to be provided by the organizations. And then
okay, Dr. Manish,
yeah,
while you are talking about technology,
yeah,
okay, I think it will be good if Edwin can jump in with
definitely
the Epson technology. Don't you think so?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to stop a little bit because Dr. Manish already talked about the technology, and then I think I'm going to ask Pak Edwin to continue. So maybe you want to stop sharing.
Yes.
Then after that Edwin can continue. Teman-teman yang sudah baru bergabung, ini kegiatan ini menarik sekali ya. Memang disampaikan dalam bahasa Inggris dan bahasa Indonesia saya dan bahasa Inggris saya yang kurang baik ini mungkin bisa nanti diterjemahkan oleh teman-teman yang sudah mengerti. Ini ada Pak Ahdi dari Dwi Warna nih, bahasa Inggrisnya keren banget. Ada Pak Dadan dari Mbak Dahlia, ini semuanya nih bahasa Inggrisnya pinter-pinter ya, jadi saya tidak usah terjemahkan. Tapi ternyata menarik sekali, ada beberapa isu yang disampaikan oleh Dr. Manish yang terjadi di sekolah. Di antaranya ada organisasi, isu-isu yang terjadi di sekolah itu sendiri atau yayasan sendiri. Kemudian ada yang dari pedagogil, aspek dari pedagoginya terkait dengan kurikulum sampai assessment. Kemudian juga ada yang berkaitan dengan teknologi. Nah, belum selesai pembicaraannya, tapi saya akan stop dulu supaya Pak Edwin bisa masuk untuk memperkenalkan teknologi yang mungkin tidak menjadi isu lagi buat sekolah-sekolahnya, sehingga bisa membantu sekolah-sekolah untuk di bidang teknologi dengan keberadaan Pak Edwin dari PT Epson. Dan teman-teman, sekali lagi PT Epson adalah sponsor dari AISEI, yang dimana organisasi ini tidak ada uang bulanan ataupun uang membership, tapi kita hidup dari sponsor-sponsor seperti dari PT Epson ini. Jadi terima kasih sudah mau mendengarkan 15 menit ke depan tentang teknologi yang akan disampaikan oleh Pak Edwin. Silakan Pak Edwin.
Oke, Bu Kapri, terdengar suara saya, Ibu?
Ya, siap.
Ibu, terima kasih loh, bridging-nya bagus sekali ya. Pas lagi komen tentang teknologi, langsung Epson yang kasih masuk penjelasannya. Baik, Bu Kapri. Dan selamat siang Bapak Ibu semuanya. Di sini saya lagi di kantor dan ternyata lagi hujan. Semoga suasananya tidak bikin ngantuk ya Bapak Ibu semua. Mana materinya dari Dr. Manish tadi luar biasa menarik sekali. Nah, izinkan saya juga dari PT Epson Indonesia untuk bisa sharing beberapa solusi dari Epson terhadap teknologi di dunia pendidikan itu sendiri. Oke, sekarang saya akan share screen. Oke, sudah terlihat layar saya.
Ya.
Oke, baik Bapak dan Ibu semuanya. Jadi di sini saya akan membahas tentang proyektor LCD Epson untuk solusi pembelajaran tatap muka yang interaktif. Nah, kenapa sih tentang proyektor? Karena memang saya ada di Departemen Visual Instruments di PT Epson Indonesia. Jadi Visual Instruments itu memang fokusnya adalah pada solusi di proyektor. Jadi kita ada kayak departemennya masing-masing untuk solusi-solusi Epson. Jadi kayak printer ada sendiri, terus proyektor ada sendiri, atau mungkin nih yang berdomisili di Jakarta yang dulu sempat viral ya, yang ada di Grand Indonesia. Nah, itu ada kayak robot untuk barista yang bikin kopi. Nah, itu salah satunya disupport oleh Epson juga. Nah, di sini ada email dan nomor telepon saya. Silakan bagi Bapak dan Ibu nanti yang tertarik, misalkan mau berkomunikasi lebih lanjut mengenai solusi Epson, monggo bisa disimpan email dan nomor telepon saya yang ada. Ini dia Bapak Ibu. Jadi kami juga akan tadi membagikan satu buah printer nih dari Epson tipe L121. Nah, jadi syaratnya adalah yang pertama mengikuti kegiatan webinar di hari ini dari awal sampai dengan akhir, dan kemudian juga mengisi link feedback form yang ada. Nah, link feedback form ini nanti sebagai akan kita undi di akhir webinar hari ini. Nah, nanti misalkan namanya keluar, nah langsung sampai bilang hadir gitu ya, karena kalau nggak ada nanti hangus, nanti buat Bu Kapri, jangan dong ya.
Buat AISEI deh, boleh ya, buat AISEI.
Oke, dan saya akan ke slide berikutnya. Nah, jadi Bapak Ibu, di sini kita akan memperkenalkan dulu dua teknologi yang umumnya ada di pasaran ya. Jadi ada teknologi LCD dan teknologi satu chip DLP. Nah, untuk teknologi yang pertama itu teknologi LCD. Jadi proses kerjanya itu adalah dari sumber cahaya, itu dia akan membagi ke 3 warna dasar, yaitu warna merah, hijau, dan warna biru. Warna umumnya itu ya. Nah, nanti akan dibagi langsung diolah secara sempurna oleh 3 chip LCD yang ada di dalam si proyektornya. Nah, itu kenapa namanya adalah 3 LCD, jadi 3 LCD. Nah, teknologi yang satunya lagi adalah satu chip DLP, jadi sifatnya dia akan mengiris warna dari sumber cahaya. Jadi kalau misalkan sumber cahaya itu ada campuran yang merah, kuning, merah, hijau, biru. Nah, karena ada namanya color wheel, nanti diiris. Jadi color wheel itu sudah ada warna-warnanya sendiri. Jadi kalau misalkan warna merah, artinya dari sumber cahayanya warna merah akan diterima, tapi warna-warna yang lain akan dibuang. Nah, biasanya teknologi satu chip DLP ini umumnya kelihatan itu kayak terjadi penurunan kualitas warna. Nah, jadi dari secara perbandingannya memang secara keunggulan sangat banyak sekali dari teknologi 3LCD. Jadi kita bisa lihat bagaimana dengan teknologi 3LCD cahaya jauh lebih terang dan lebih natural dibandingkan teknologi satu chip DLP yang warna cahayanya lebih rendah. Kemudian juga teknologi 3LCD ini menghemat energi listrik sekali karena tidak banyak daya yang bekerja lebih keras untuk bisa menampilkan proyeksinya. Nah, berbeda dengan teknologi satu chip DLP yang energi listriknya sangat tinggi sekali. Nah, kemudian yang terakhir adalah tidak adanya efek pelangi. Nah, tidak efek pelangi ini justru akan menjadi hal yang lebih baik di melakukan kegiatan belajar mengajar. Nah, ya, jadi di sini saya akan membagikan 3 tips ya dalam memilih proyektor yang tepat untuk di dunia pendidikan. Nah, yang pertama artinya pastikan bahwa ada logo 3LCD-nya. Kenapa? Kayak tadi bisa lihat sangat banyak sekali manfaatnya. Nah, ini saya simulasikan bagaimana kalau misalkan kita menggunakan teknologi 3LCD, ya warnanya sesuai dengan yang ada di laptop, berbeda dengan kalau misalkan kita DLP, dia warnanya agak lebih redup ya Bapak Ibu. Nah, kurang lebih seperti itu ciri khasnya. Nah, kemudian ini adalah tadi ada efek pelanginya, jadi ini saya bandingkan kalau misalkan ini ada proyektor Epson yang menggunakan teknologi 3LCD, warnanya lebih terang dan kemudian juga lebih natural. Nah, dibandingkan dengan sebelahnya, di sebelah ini lebih gelap. Nah, ini adalah efek pelangi nih Bapak Ibu. Efek pelangi ini terjadi karena proses satu chip DLP tadi yang karena beririsan secara cepat, sehingga sebenarnya mata kita itu dia menerimanya adalah sama seperti ini. Cuman karena otak kita menstimulus bahwa ini adalah warna putih, ini warna merah. Nah, sehingga semakin lama kita melihat, semakin lelah juga kita bekerja otaknya. Nah, berbeda kalau menggunakan teknologi 3LCD, dia warnanya itu karena sudah diolah langsung oleh si proyektornya sehingga tetap nyaman kalau kita melihat tampilan layar dalam waktu yang cukup lama. Nah, kemudian tips yang kedua, pastikan juga bahwa ukuran tampilan layarnya itu cukup untuk semua materi pembelajaran. Nah, Bapak Ibu juga mungkin ngeh ya kalau selama ini kayak misalkan punya layarnya besar di kelas, namun ternyata layar proyeksinya itu sendiri kecil gitu, atau bahkan kelebihan gitu, padahal lebih dari layarnya. Nah, di sini ada tipsnya adalah yang pertama, pastikan bahwa ini adalah untuk menentukan jarak ideal. Jadi ada namanya peraturan 468. Nah, di peraturan 468 ini, jadi kalau misalkan Bapak Ibu ingin menampilkan seperti dokumen, Excel, atau spreadsheet, nah itu jarak idealnya adalah 1 meter dikali 4 tinggi gambar. Nah, kalau ingin melihat tampilan dasar seperti PowerPoint, nah itu jarak idealnya adalah 1 meter dikali 6 tinggi gambar. Nah, kalau misalkan menampilkan mau video atau film, nah jarak idealnya itu adalah 1 meter dikali 8 tinggi gambar. Nah, ini saya simulasikan bagaimana kalau misalkan nih kita pakai TV ya, layarnya adalah 65 inci. Nah, dengan peraturan 468 tadi itu dia hanya menjangkau murid di baris 2 dan 3 saja. Murid baris 4 dan 5 tuh udah nggak kelihatan dengan jelas ya, karena kayak kecil banget gitu. Nah, sehingga dia memang tidak kami rekomendasikan, dan kami merekomendasikan menggunakan layar minimal adalah 100 inci. Jadi menjangkau semua murid yang ada di ruang kelas. Nah, seperti itu. Nah, ini juga diperkuat adalah dari sebuah penelitian dari Institute Research. Jadi mereka menyatakan bahwa 57% siswa yang disurvei itu mereka matanya lelah karena tampilan layar yang terlalu kecil dan kemudian juga terlalu lama melihat paparan LED. Nah, itu karena tadi kalau LED itu dia sifatnya adalah langsung memancarkan cahaya ke mata kita. Nah, berbeda kalau kita sifatnya proyektor, dia sifatnya memantulkan dulu. Jadi kita tidak melihat langsung tampilan layarnya sehingga tetap akan nyaman. Nah, tips yang ketiga adalah pastikan bahwa garansinya panjang dan jangkauan service center-nya luas ya Bapak Ibu. Nah, jadi kami di sini di AISEI itu memiliki garansi yang panjang yaitu sampai dengan 3 tahun dan usia lampunya sendiri pun 1000 jam, jadi sangat panjang sekali. Dan kemudian kami di kami itu memiliki 10 Epson Sales and Service, memiliki 18 service center dan 200 authorized service partner yang tersebar di seluruh Indonesia. Nah, sehingga ini akan bisa menjangkau Bapak dan Ibu dalam mengalami kendala dalam penggunaan proyektor Epson di sekolahannya. Nah, sekarang saya akan masuk dalam persiapan kelas pembelajaran tatap muka. Nah, jadi di sini banyak sekali media yang sudah mulai memberikan beberapa tips bagaimana hal-hal yang perlu dipersiapkan terhadap nanti pembelajaran tatap muka. Karena ini hal yang mungkin ada hal yang tidak bisa dikontrol juga oleh sekolahan ya. Nah, jadi diberikanlah tips-tips ini. Nah, di sini saya sudah rangkum bahwa kalau untuk pembelajaran jarak jauh sendiri itu sebelumnya umumnya dalam mengerjakan tugasnya ada melalui learning management system. Kemudian Bapak Ibu juga sudah memiliki keterampilan dalam membuat sebuah video pembelajaran ya. Jadi ketika biasanya kalau lagi ngajar agar anak-anak itu bisa lebih paham dan bisa mengulang berulang-ulang, nah biasanya bikin sebuah video pembelajaran. Nah, kemudian juga pembelajarannya pun sudah melalui daring dan sifatnya tetap dua arah. Jadi komunikasinya ada umpan baliknya antara guru dan murid. Nah, untuk PTM itu sendiri, jadi ada hal-hal lagi yang perlu diperhatikan. Jadi misalkan pastinya dalam menjaga jarak di ruang kelas, kemudian juga harus membawa perangkatnya masing-masing atau bring your own device. Hal ini penting karena biasanya untuk mengurangi banyaknya tersentuh barang-barang yang bukan milik kita pribadi gitu ya Bapak Ibu. Dan kemudian juga kita bisa memanfaatkan solusi jaringan nirkabel untuk saat ini. Jadi tetap bisa menjaga jarak. Nah, dengan ketiga dari solusi PTM tersebut, kami di Epson itu ada dua solusi. Yang pertama adalah digitalisasi kelas dan kelas interaktif. Nah, kita bicara yang pertama dulu tentang digitalisasi kelas. Nah, jadi di sini dengan proyektor ruang kelas yang dimiliki Bapak Ibu itu, dia sangat lebih mudah sekali karena sudah dengan menggunakan menu berbahasa Indonesia. Jadi secara pengoperasiannya lebih mudah dan tidak sulit. Dan kemudian juga sudah menggunakan jaringan nirkabel. Nah, jaringan nirkabelnya adalah dongle yang seperti ini. Jadi ada kayak dongle-nya yang bisa ditambahkan untuk bisa terhubung secara nirkabel. Nah, berikut adalah video dari salah satu sekolahan yang sudah memanfaatkan proyektor ruang kelas di masa pandemi seperti sekarang.
Kami sangat senang mendapatkan dukungan proyektor dari Epson, di mana proyektor ini sangat banyak manfaatnya seperti: 1. Guru bisa mendapatkan pengalaman mengajar, seperti mengajar di kelas seperti biasanya, karena bisa melihat murid dengan jelas di layar yang besar. Yang kedua, saya baru tahu kalau ada proyektor yang bisa menggunakan jaringan nirkabel. Dengan bisa memanfaatkan jaringan nirkabel ini, cukup membawa materinya dari handphone dan bisa langsung terhubung ke proyektor. Hal ini membuat kami bisa memberikan solusi bagi murid-murid yang memiliki kendala dalam jaringan internet di rumahnya, atau bagi murid yang memiliki keterbatasan dalam kegiatan belajar mengajar. Kami mengucapkan terima kasih kepada PT Epson Indonesia. Proyektor ini sangat bermanfaat sekali bagi sekolah kami untuk bisa terus memberikan pembelajaran yang terbaik untuk murid-murid kami.
Ya, jadi kurang lebih seperti itu ya Bapak Ibu. Jadi bagaimana proyektor ruang kelas ini jadi mampu terhubung secara nirkabel. Nah, jadi bisa dimanfaatkan tadi cukup pakai handphonenya saja ya Bapak Ibu. Nah, kemudian untuk yang terakhir solusinya adalah tentang solusi kelas interaktif. Nah, di mana di sini menggunakan namanya interaktif proyektor nih Bapak Ibu. Jadi berbeda dengan proyektor yang umumnya. Jadi sifatnya adalah menempel di atas papan tulis dan nggak perlu pakai alat-alat khusus. Jadi cukup pakai proyektor aja. Jadi nanti dia bisa berubah menjadi layar sentuh. Nah, salah satu solusinya untuk PTM adalah karena tadi sudah berhubung secara nirkabel. Nah, interaktif proyektor ini bisa menampilkan 4 layar secara bersamaan. Nah, sehingga ini bisa melakukan pembelajaran secara kolaboratif di ruang kelas. Nah, dan ini adalah salah satu sekolahan juga yang sudah menggunakan interaktif proyektor. Nah, berikut adalah videonya.
project to any surface, and because of that, we don't need to worry when the board getting dirty or broken. We can just fix the whole entire board with another kind of surface. Another thing really important during this pandemic is that sometimes we have to clean the board, and then we need to use disinfectant liquid.
Well, I enjoy watching the presentations from my friends and asking questions. We get to play with the action projector and use the pen to draw in the giant tablet. Draw an annotate using the pen.
This user-friendly projector makes learning a lot more fun and interactive with the different features that allow students to experience active learning to the fullest. Come and experience the learning journey that will spark your interest and quench your curiosity to your exquisite mind on the world that we live in. Sekolah Lentera Indonesia is ready for the next decade of 21st century learning.
Ya, jadi seperti itu Bapak Ibu, jadi dengan menggunakan interaktif proyektor tadi layarnya sangat luas sekali, dan kemudian juga tidak menggunakan alat-alat khusus, cukup pakai papan yang ada saja, dan yang sangat aman adalah sangat ramah terhadap cairan disinfektan, sehingga ini akan membuat orang tua murid juga merasa nyaman ketika anak-anaknya bisa lagi masuk ke dalam kegiatan belajar mengajar di sekolahan. Semoga bermanfaat Bapak Ibu. Demikian dari saya materinya. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya kembalikan lagi Bu Kapri. Silakan Bu.
Oke, terima kasih Edwin. Wow, mantap sekali. Teman-teman, jika masih belum punya proyektor, ini saatnya ya untuk beli proyektornya Pak Edwin. Dan teman-teman, sekiranya perlu penjelasan lebih lanjut, Pak Edwin dan Pak Robert ada di dalam chatnya. Silakan bisa menghubungi langsung untuk kalau yang tertarik. Manish, sorry to interrupt, tapi this is the way it is.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so there is one questions before you go on. Maybe we can start a question, then after that you continue. Is that okay with you?
That's fine. That's
okay. There is a question from Elan Jailani. Ini Pak Elan. He's asking. He was wondering if you can elaborate more about assessment for learning instead of assessment of learning. For me, the difference is only for and off. Okay. Does it mean that we can give assessment before the learning process like pre-test? And could you please give him example of assessment for learning?
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Pa Ellen. I have seen that you wrote in the chat the difference between assessment of learning and for learning. What happened is we teach a lesson, and at the end of lesson, we say, okay, whatever I taught you in the classroom, this is what we are assessing your knowledge on the basis of whatever the way I was teaching. And then ultimately I give you a test, I give you something on criterion-based test and say you perform as you feel like, as you learn in the classroom. This is a normal practice in most of the curriculum around the world. But here the most important is assessment for learning. So when we are teaching, while teaching, we are assessing them that how much they learned till now. This is not what you are writing at the end. Does it means that we can give assessment before the learning process? No. Before the learning process, we can just say asking few questions, kind of brainstorming, or those kind of how much kids understand. That is the idea which we generally ask for when we are going for pre-test or pre-assessment. But here I am talking about assessment for learning. Now, assessment for learning can be done by designing few formative assessment. Now, suppose I was teaching a history lesson or a mathematics lesson about right angle, left angle, and the 2 pi r and all those basic things about mathematics. I just conducted a quiz, knowing their understanding, but this is just a quiz, nothing else. While if I can involve them, I can give them, okay, go home and cut one paper as a circle, then divide into 2, then divide into 4, then divide into 6, and then find out the areas. So while I am teaching, they are learning at home. This learning for assessment, most of the time, is not planned, is not rubric based. It is just an opportunity to the students. Most of the time, for assessment for learning, we give feedback. Oh, you learned this much. Like suppose I'm teaching how does plant grow in my science subject. To plant grow, they know how does plant grow. I explain in the classroom, but they will not understand if I ask them to go home, plant one seed and see how the plant is growing and write in a piece of paper. The kid will understand how the plants are growing. That is a formative assessment. I gave a small work, a small child to go home, plant a seed and see the growth, how the plant is growing. Click the photograph at each step. So these kind of assessment need to be designed rather than just designing the assessment at the end of the unit. In every step, if we can design these assessment for learning, will definitely benefit our students, will definitely increase their involvement in the classroom learning. That's why we in IB educations, we call it formative assessments. And it can be a variety of, as I said, it is not structured. It is not planned as the summative assessment. As you feel like, no, oh, this is the way that I can check their understanding what I am teaching in the classroom. In every single lesson, we can have one formative assessment. If not in every lesson, we can have, say, in a unit planner, we have 10 lessons. After every 2 lessons, we can have a formative assessment. It can be a quiz, it can be a working, it can be debate, how to understand the structure of United Nations. Rather than explaining all these things, I said, okay, you are the president, you are country A, you are country B, you are country C. Debate about the topic of Ukrainian war and how you will perform. A formative assessment through debating. And they will learn, oh, what is the structure of United Nations, how the United Nations work. So these things will be required when we say assessment for learning. And when I say assessment for learning, it means, I mean to say a formative assessment. I think that's clear. I can elaborate a little bit if I have a lesson on.
I think it's later on you can, Ellen can ask you more maybe, but definitely. Perhaps you might want to continue first, then we are going to open the question and answer. Do you mind putting it as a PowerPoint view? Because this one we can see.
Okay, I will do that. I will do that.
Yeah, presenter view. Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, better. Yeah, yeah. For me, like I need another glasses. That this will be nice. Yeah. Thank you, Manish. Go ahead.
Then, along with this, we need to focus into the issues of the stakeholders related to issue. Opportunities for participation is very important. We need to provide opportunity for every stakeholder to participate. And when I say every stakeholder, I mean our teachers, our students, and parents also. To participate in ongoing practices of the school. Obviously, in teaching and learning, we can't give participation for parents. Yeah, but in other things, at least their saying should be there. Sometime in collaboration planning for the improvement of quality of organizations. Nowadays, Orang Tua, in committee Orang Tua is very important in Indonesia. Yes? So how will be the structure of that committee? In the discipline structure standard of the school, what role parents can play? If we can give them a kind of, say, a policy of discipline in the school and the parents' role in that. They can give an undertaking, or they can be part of that, or it can come from parents only. We can ask to the parents, oh, what should be the discipline measure in the school? Because school are the ground for creating futures. Creating the value-based education is also very important, and that's why that discipline is also very important. School performance, how we as a school are performing. If we can have peer evaluation, self-evaluations, parental evaluations, parental feedback are very important. How are we performing during this period? Parental feedback will not only allow an engagement from the stakeholder, but at the same time, we are giving them opportunity to be the part of our organizations. And then identifications, keeping everyone identity as a obviously confidential, but at the same time, identity, I mean that everyone is contributing something. And when everyone is contributing something, they realize the importance of their own. Every individual is important for organizations. Then if we talk about the, sorry, 1 minute, yeah. If we talk about the various area that we need to look into the modern educations, applications of teaching and learning, technology, and educational initiatives. And when I say educational initiative, there are various initiatives that we start in the schools. But when we talk about development in educations, what is coming up? What are the new things in the educations? And when I say what are new things, I will start from the last STEM-based curriculum. No matter the curriculum that we have, the curriculum that we are following in our school, at least there should be some content of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I am not saying adopt the full curriculum, which say, okay, no, these things should be there, or the STEM curriculum itself. In our curriculum, these opportunities should be provided to the students. The opportunity of mindfulness, understanding their own strength is also very important. Providing opportunity for brain break. If we are continuously teaching for 7 hours and not providing them opportunities to involve or to utilize their mind, their brain into other areas, it will be very difficult for kids to focus only in the classroom teaching and learning. So having play, various kind of competitions, giving opportunity for students to debate will definitely enhance their focus in teaching and learning in the student, in the classrooms, in the school. And that's why this brain, breaking their brain is breaking brain break. I mean, that opportunity need to be provided to the students. Sometimes we need to have some genius hours where we are teaching them skills. Suppose if they are a senior, the students in the seniors classes, we can give them opportunities to look into more about research skills. If they are students of primary, we can give them opportunities to how to be more inquirer. And obviously digital citizenships, and nowadays those cryptocurrency or banking, or few things which are coming into the practices, the kids need to know about this. And those opportunities we need to provide to the students, be it coding, be it virtual marketing, be it virtual banking, or financial literacy. These opportunities need to be provided because these are the new areas coming up in educations, in the modern educations. So we can focus in these areas also. When we talk about the basic principle of educations and basic principle for success in educations, we need to look into two fronts. front, social front. We are a service sector. And in service sector, accountability, culture of quality, and interest of society is very important. How are we highlighting the interest of society? Why they should come to us? What should be their interest to join our organizations? And obviously, every parent look into the holistic educations. When we are providing them holistic educations, parent will come to our school, no matter we have big or small organizations. In the spiritual front, we need to look into diversity and innovations. We might be very rigid at home, but as a parent, we want my kid to be very diversified, to be very innovative, and that opportunity we need to provide in the school. We're very transparent in communications, transparent in whatever we have, transparent in informations. So more and more communication is also very important. More and more quality communication is very important. Efficiency and effectiveness of our teaching and learning is also very important. How effective we are, the goal we are setting, are we able to reach to those goals? As an organization, are we able to reach to those goals? That is very important. So the basic principle for success in education is we have to raise our standards all the time. Not only setting the standard, but performing for those standards also is very important. The belief that we have, I have seen the organization which say we are number 1 in Indonesia, we are number 2 in Indonesia, we are number 1 in world. That those limited belief we need to break. Nowadays, today the organization which says number 1, tomorrow the organization might not be number 1. It will be number 1 when we are changing those limited beliefs. Believe in giving our best to the students is the most important. Model strategies that work. We don't need to have some very intricate strategies, because our organization is the very best organization, so we have very intricate strategies. It needs to be stakeholders friendly strategies. Intensifying our emotions. Closeness. My organization is my family. Those emotions are more important. And every time as an organization, we need to try more than what were expected and what is expected by our stakeholders. Try to give little more. So whatever kind of stakeholder we have, we can try to pay little more. And for this all, we need to build capacities. Capacities are built by shared expectations from management, from top leadership, from teachers, staff, parents, everyone. Shared expectations. Participating in decision making. Every decision, everyone cannot be involved, but in some decision, parents can be involved. Some decisions, students can be involved. Some decisions, teachers can be involved. Some decisions, management can be involved. Open, trusted environment is very important to build the capacity of the organizations. Everyone needs recognitions, and that recognitions need to be given by the management and the top management in the organizations. And that's how we can build a team which can share their knowledge. We might have a very good team, but they are not willing to share their knowledge. So these collaboration planning schedule is very important for us to build the capacity, to increase, to enhance the quality of the organizations, the capacity of the organizations. Nowadays, these areas are also very important where we are giving educations. This is especially for students, where when we are talking about climatical change, sustainable energy, ocean sustainability in Indonesia especially, management of chemicals and engineering, waste management, financial, circular economy. These are few areas where we need, other than our curriculum, we need to focus on. Kids need to have debate. Now we know there are so many competitions around the world going on, this Olympiad, that Olympiad, but other than that, these are becoming very important, like Sustainable Development Goal, circular economy. Are we providing that opportunity either in our classroom or beyond class? Students can involve ourselves in learning circular economy, in learning financial literacy, in learning about waste management, or in learning about ocean sustainability. Who rules the ocean is a very common questions that kids ask. Have we ever discussed that question in our classrooms? That's very important. So we have the responsibilities. We, the educational organization, have the responsibilities for changing employment environmental factors, new technological factors, or mindset and behavior of the employees. We need to look into these areas, and this is the responsibility of an organization. If we look into new technology, no matter it is in a used quantity or less quantity, but we need to have new technology. If we are giving opportunity for teacher to learn little more beyond their subjects, they will remain there. They will try to contribute little more. Understanding their mindset and behavior, that freedom of working is very important. Value-based education, obviously it is commercialized, but then value-based education is very important. Are we really teaching values in the classroom is very important. And when I say value, I mean plagiarism, I mean academic honesty, I mean respect for everyone, respect for every culture. New technology adaptations, SPUN, that is required in every classroom now, in most of the classroom now. Successful implementations of sustainable education and meeting the expectations of stakeholders. These are our responsibility as an organization. But yes, we can definitely ask our stakeholders, especially our parents, students, and teachers, that you also have a responsibility. If you want our organization to be a world-class organization, you also have a responsibility. And your responsibility is, the stakeholder responsibility is participating in organizational growth. Give us feedback, positive, negative, how to improve, not only negative. And most of the time, nowadays, we had given that much of freedom to every stakeholder. Rather than contributing something positive, they always criticized. But are they giving a positive feedback? How we can grow our organizations? What will determine the growth of organizations? Effective operations. The ambassador of my organization. My stakeholder is the ambassador of my organization. So that cooperation is very important. Accountability. If I, as a leader of organization, is responsible for the fall of organizations, for the downfall of the organization, a stakeholder need to have that accountability also, because you are unable to provide us that feedback on time. Effective participations in activities is also very important. Various kind of activities which can be done in the school. Nowadays, if we see PTM, very few parents turn up in the PTM. And every parent know everything about their kids. No. So that participation is also very important, not only in PTM, but all other activities that we do in school. Especially in junior classes. If we are organizing a competition, say debate competition, poem recitation, or story telling competitions, parents are equally involved in it. They are the partner with school leaders. I'm not saying a spy of the school leaders. They are the partners in the growth of organizations. And then understanding the change in education. No, this was happening in our time. No, this is not your time. This is a modern time. So they need to understand that change. And for that, we also need to inform them what are the changes. And then ultimately, we all are working for a common goal. Our common goal is to enhance the quality of organizations. And the common goal, when we talk about common goal, collaboration is very important. Teamwork is the most important. In Indonesia, we call it gotong royong. For the success of organization, that gotong royong is the most important. And for gotong royong, obviously, collaborations we need to have. If we go from the center, collaborations among educators and with stakeholders, parents and teachers, students and teachers, collaboration within institutions. My school, another school, collaborations. SPK school, one national school. SPK International, SPK National. International school in Jakarta or in some other part of Indonesia, some other part of the world. That collaboration within the institutions is among the institution is also very important. And then collaboration in education with educational bodies, be it IGCC, IB, national curriculum, Australian, Singaporean, any curriculum that we follow in Indonesia. That collaborations with international various other bodies is also very important. Collaboration with Dr. Kapri's association is also very important to learn what is new is happening around the world. So overall, when I talk about enhancing the quality, when I talk about challenges in modern education and responsibility of teachers, organizations, and stakeholders, I would say that ultimate goal is to provide an opportunity for enhancing the quality of education in the organizations. But yes, those responsibilities need to be set, and how those need to be set is depending on the culture of the organizations. So this is what I have to say. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, you can ask, and there are a few questions in the.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Manish. Okay, very inspiring, and then I learned something. I learned a lot today. Teman-teman, let's give our heart to Dr. Manish, boleh? Okay, our reaction with the heart. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Dr. Manish. Very fruitful insights. And then I think you're right that we need to raise our standard in order to have a very successful in our in the education system. Yeah. Okay. We have some questions. I'm going to read it for you if you don't mind. Okay, one of them is from Pak Ahdi dari SMA Dwi Warna.
Yeah.
It sounds that assessments of learning designed only as an obligation after the explanation where students have no interest to explore after the class end. Yet, assessment for learning means a long life learning even after the class ends, where students are more eager to know about what they've learned, leading to positive curiosity. Okay, I don't know what's the questions. Bapak Ahdi, do you want to unmute and then ask the questions?
Yeah.
Or you just want? Okay, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Ahdi. So thank you very much for the presentation. I just want to confirm whether my understanding or explanation to both definition the assessment learning to the assessment for learning, whether the confirmation or my definition towards that issue is correct, or there's something that you can correct on my definition. Thank you.
Oke, thank you. Jadi Pak Ahdi mau bertanya apakah yang sudah statement ini sudah benar atau belum. Oke, Dr. Manish, please.
Yeah. When you say only as an obligation, yes, I will say it's more than obligation. It's a responsibility of the teachers. Yeah. So if we can provide that opportunity to our students, so it becomes my responsibility as a teacher to provide that opportunity as at last, as you are writing, to develop that curiosity. If I develop the curiosity, the inquiry among the students, I am very sure they will learn in better way rather than just I am explaining to them. So that if I am able to generate that inquiry among the kids, I think it is the best way of teaching in the classroom. rather than just vomiting the knowledge that I have and kids don't understand anything. More important is generating curiosity. And thank you. What I write is really good. The leading to the positive curiosity. In place of curiosity, I will say, yes, positive inquiry. And that's why we call it inquiry-based learning.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Manish. Okay, the next question is from Miss Pala, but I need to remind everyone first. They need to fill in the feedback from absent ya, teman-teman. Tolong diisi feedback dari absent supaya nanti bisa mendapatkan door prize, yaitu sebuah printer L121 dari absent. That's including you, Dr. Manish. You need to fill in the link ya, so that hopefully you will get the absent today. All right, Miss Pala is asking questions. I teach in a small city, Miss Pala, yeah. Okay, where we have very limited facilities that we need to enhancing our quality of education. The support from their parents is also limited. So, any other solution that can support our education, okay, to be better, of course, yeah.
Thank you. When you say we are in a small city, I will say that a small city is itself an opportunity.
Yeah.
We in Jakarta, if I have to study river, I don't find a Kali in Jakarta. You can go next door and you can find an open space. Nature provides the best support for learning. We forget to utilize that. We forget we are so much concentrated in the classroom only. So we are having so many facilities in the classroom. I have seen some classrooms with sofas nowadays. But actually, nature is the best classroom. If we can take our kids out, if we can provide that opportunity to take them out. I teach for 45-minute lesson, I'm teaching how does plant grow. If I take them out, they know how does plant grow. That interactions during my units, if I can develop that interaction with the nature, I think that is the best technology. You don't need any big computer there or a very good PowerPoint machine in your classroom. You have a better classroom. We only need to utilize it, and that's why I started in the beginning. No matter we are very rich organization or growing organization, no matter we are very established or growing organizations, we can utilize the resources that we have. In Jakarta, we have seen schools are running in 2-3 rooms. Yeah, in some SD and TK school, if you go, you say 3-4 rooms they are running, especially the private TK schools. But the opportunities need to be provided.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Manish. I hope it will answer the questions. Okay, Dahlia also asking questions. It's about, I'm not so sure about the questions actually. It's about capacity building or need education and collaboration. So maybe Dahlia, can you unmute yourself and then ask directly to Dr. Manish? Ibu Dahlia, boleh di-unmute? Ya, silakan.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Kapri. Sir Manish, would you please open again the presentation about capacity building in such areas such for climate change and then waste management? I just want to make sure, is it related to education or not?
Yes, it is related to education. When I say capacity building, we are talking about educations in general. We are not talking only about capacity building. When I say it,
after this, after this slide. That's it. What does it mean? Climate change, sustainable energy. Is it this topic for learning?
Yeah, this is very important. Now, if I'm teaching, say, in my school, I am teaching 6 subjects or 10 subjects. Okay, but in those subjects, most of the time these topics are missing. If you see sustainable development goal, are we teaching sustainable development goal in the classroom or taking the link of that sustainable development goal in our classrooms? Because if we see this 17 aspects of sustainable development goal, it is related to each area of knowledge, each subject, but are we really utilizing them, making a link with the biggest initiative around the world? And that's why I said these things need to be developed. These initiatives need to be discussed in the classrooms. Be it climatic change, might be we are not teaching climatic change in general, but opportunities need to be provided so that they are learning beyond classrooms also. They are learning not only for what is required to get good grades, they are learning for how to be a better citizen of the world. So these things, these topics, other than our subject area, these topics need to be discussed a lot. Like when I say circular economy, financial literacy, I'm not teaching to my science student or to my Sastra student, but if I have a small canteen, I say, okay, I can say, you can make a small bank. How does bank work? How does post office work? Otherwise, if you ask to a grade 12 kids, they don't know how bank really work. If you send them to bank and ask them to make a draft or a check or transfer the money, they might not know all these things, which is life skills. So we need to teach these life skills rather than only teaching classrooms.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Manish. Thank you, Dahlia. I hope it answers your curiosity. Okay, the next one will be from Pak Ahdi again. How to make one meaningful collaboration between those who are money-oriented and success-oriented colleges in one institution. Wow, very interesting questions. Okay, Dr. Manish.
I like this question, yeah. The most important is we are the teachers, and those who are teachers, obviously knowledge somewhere, I will not say it's always the first priority, especially for those who are money oriented, but knowledge is their focus. Ultimately, we want to learn because that's why we are in education. So I have seen in the past, if we can provide that opportunities to involve in learning, that will happen. They might use your learning for other organizations. That will happen, yeah. But if we can involve them in learning, we can at least take their best contribution for my education. It will happen as they will grow from your organization, they will go to a bigger organization. But at least as long as the stakeholders are within my organization, I am utilizing their capacity to the best of my capacity. That is very important. That's why those collaboration planning is very important. Meaningful collaboration is very important. As long as they are within one organization, as long as teachers are in my organization, they are contributing best for my organizations. And these are very small steps. Okay, within 2 years, they might change the organization. But within those 2 years, they had given best for the organization. That is very important. I think I'm clear about this. Okay. I think Ibu Kapri is free, so I will ask another question. Silakan, yeah, I have to fill this. Is there any questions? You can just raise your hand and you can ask. Oh, now Dr. Kapri is back. Unmute. You need to unmute.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mani. Sorry, it was something happened to the signal. Okay, hope it's done with Arki, yeah? Okay, I still have 5 more minutes, so hopefully we can answer Lenny and Elan, and after that we might have to stop, okay? Okay, Lenny, do you want to unmute yourself?
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Kapri, and thank you so much, Mr. Mani, for wonderful topic for today. I just asking about that you are explanation about basic principles for success in education. There are 5 points that I take note: that raise our standard, change our limiting belief, model structure that work, intense your emotions, and give more than we are expect. But in this pandemic situation, as we know that learning loss so happen in all 3 in the world, yeah, especially in my school also. But one thing that I want to asking is how to recovering learning loss, is it, yeah, to prepare ourselves first, and also for motivate to our student that they already 2 years to them, maybe they already adapt with the situation. And when they are right now we are study for PTMT, it means for the offline they're going to school, but it's not like as a normal one. Yeah, still have problem with this situation, how to motivate the students so they can increase also to to spirit, how they can get the spirit to study and come to school, and then also to support them when the situation, example, they can positive COVID, so how we can support them in that situation. Thank you, Mr. Manish.
Thank you. Thank you for asking this question. And we all are facing this problem at present. I feel that, yes, pandemic is not only, there are various impact of this COVID period, this pandemic, but the most important impact and most visible impact, which we will see might be after few months or few years, is psychological impact on these kids. Especially these kids, and we all has observed this, the kids who are especially in the senior classes and even the junior classes, they have a kind of psychological trauma. Yeah? They are nowadays happy to sit in front of the computer or mobile rather than going to the school. So here a confidence building is required. Confidence building will start from the first day onwards. Yeah? First day in the sense, I as a teacher in the classroom, teaching from the classroom, the way I used to teach. Might be I am unable to make that connections initially, but then requesting parents and students to come to the schools. It can start with 1, 2, 3, 4, and slowly I think more kids will develop that faith in the organizations. Yes, in between there will be some kids who might be getting COVID positive when coming to the school. So in this aspects, school regulations, school strategies, school readiness is very important. How to make that faith, how to develop that faith with parents is very important. And that I think if you read the Indonesian regulations, Permen, especially the new Permen, give a very clear guideline. If we have a Satgas team in our school, proper reporting to Puskesmas, proper reporting to the parents, be very genuine and truthful in reporting, I think we can develop that bonding with parents and students. We can develop that faith with parents and students.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
thank you,
Dr. Manish. Thank you, Lenny. I think we have to move on. Actually, Alan raised his hand, but now not raising anymore his hand. So I'm going to read the last questions from Ibu Gusmardiani. Dr. Manish, I'd like to ask you about learning personalized. Do you mean for teachers? My question, how we motivate teachers who are teaching at conventional style? And in addition, she said, in fulfill the learning loss, teachers should give variety of learning. Maybe you can comment on that too. Okay, that will be the last one.
Yeah, and I will say that obviously there will be some teachers who are mostly doing conventional teachings, but in the conventional teaching changes when we as a leader, and this is an important responsibility of leader in education, during our collaboration planning, during our departmental meetings, if we can discuss in a little different way, if we can involve teacher in a little different way, I think the teacher will adopt and carry this strategy to the classroom also. So this comes from top management to the leaders in education and then to the teachers. during the collaboration planning, we can provide those opportunities for, especially for those teachers who are teaching in conventional way, to contribute in a different way, so that they ask the students to contribute in their learning also.
Okay.
So I think we need to do certain kind of planning for that, especially during collaboration planning schedule.
Okay, yeah, it is important to do planning, especially during collaboration. That will be the highlight of our talk today. Okay, all right, Dr. Manish, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your explanation. Thank you. Bu Kapri also thank you, Bu.
Oke, thank you Ibu. Safe travel Ibu. Ini sambil nyupir ya. Oke. Oke. Dr. Manish, thank you so much for the time and then for sharing with us. I'm sure we learned a lot today, and I'm sure everyone have the same opinion with me. And then I think this is the end of the webinar. So before that, I would like to ask everyone to open their video so we can take a picture. And after that, Pak Robert is going to do the Pak Edwin or Pak Robert is going to do the door prize. Okay. Oh, Pak Edwin. Okay, fine. Okay, can you all open your lovely camera so that we can see your beautiful and handsome man. Oh, ada Pak Dadan ya, handsome ya sekarang hari ini. Oke, ada Pak Edwin, ada banyak yang handsome ya menemani Dr. Manish. Oke, 1, 2, 3, silakan Pak Mbak Eka.
Oke, Ibu, baik, saya akan mulai foto dari halaman pertama. 1, 2, 3. Oke, sebentar, satu halaman lagi. 1, 2, 3. Baik, sudah Bu Kapri.
Oke, Pak Edwin silahkan untuk melangsung dengan door prize-nya. Saya nggak sabar nih untuk AISEI menang.
Oke, baik.
Nggak boleh ya, member lain ya. Monggo.
Bapak Ibu semuanya, kembali lagi dengan saya untuk mengumumkan siapa nih yang akan mendapatkan satu buah printer dari Epson ya. Di sini kalau saya lihat sudah ada 34 yang mengisi. Wah, terima kasih sekali Bapak Ibu. Siapa tahu nih rezeki sebelum bulan puasa ya.
Amin. Amin.
Dapat printer. Oke, di sini langsung saja saya akan share screen. Ya, ini sudah ada 34. Ini saya akan acak lagi. Oke, siap-siap ya Bapak Ibu, kalau misalkan nanti namanya keluar jangan lupa bilang hadir gitu ya, biar kita tahu. Nah, nanti biar pastiin dapat nih untuk door prize printernya, oke? Langsung saja kita hitung mundur ya, dari 3, 2, 1. Rahim, siapakah yang akan mendapatkan printer sebelum bulan puasa? Wah, sudah kelihatan nih, wah. Yeay, Ibu Gusmadiani yang lagi.
Thank you, Epson.
Waduh.
Kelihatan di layar saya, ibunya nih lagi jalan.
Oke, nggak sia-sia ya di jalan juga ya.
Di jalan, dan lagi sama Epson ya Bu ya.
Bunda Soleh.
Oke, thank you Edwin.
Ya Ibu, terima kasih sekali lagi, sama selamat ya Bu ya. Nanti tim kami akan menghubungi Ibu via email untuk minta kontak datanya ya.
Oke, thank you Pak Edwin. Selamat Ibu Gusmardiani. Dan once again, thank you Dr. Manish. And terima kasih untuk semua teman-teman yang sudah meluangkan waktunya di hari Sabtu. See you next webinar from AISEI. Bye. Thank you semua. Thank you, Carol, Mas Dada.
Thank you, Bu Kapri.
Thank you, Mbak Ika.
Thank you, Mr. Dane, Mr. Manish. Ya, bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Kita melewatkan walaupun dalam perjalanan.
Oke, thank you.
Bye semua.